By now, you guys have heard the news that ESPN senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski has agreed to become the general manager of the men's basketball program at St. Bonaventure, which is his alma mater. So let's talk about the legacy that Woj is leaving behind in sports media with his longtime friend, our longtime New York Post sports columnist, Mike Vaccaro. Mike, it's one of those things where it's like, don't cry that it's over. Smile, be happy because it happened. You've known this man for 37 years. What is it about him that you feel was or were the reasons why he had such a great career in sports media?
Well, he had a work ethic that was unmatched. I thought I worked hard in my career, but he puts me to shame. He works every day with the same passion as he did the first day on the job. When he was an intern at the Hartford Current. And I think when you have that kind of passion and that kind of devotion, it's going to allow you to go far in the business as he did, but it's also going to take a toll after a while. And I think at some point he realized that if he wasn't going to be able to give the same amount of effort and caring that he's given every day of his career, that would be cheating both his readers and his viewers and also his bosses. And he also, wanted to redirect those passions, I think, and he found a great outlet in the St. Bonaventure basketball program, which has been a huge part of his life for many years, going back to his freshman year there. So I think it's, what you said is the perfect way to describe, I think, this day for him. It's a good day for him and for those of us who are lucky enough to be his friends, for sure.
And a lot of people share that same sentiment that you feel. If you look all throughout social media, there's so many heartfelt messages and tweets out there for Woj. What kind of impact do you think that he's left on this industry? How do you think he'll be remembered?
Well, I think he reinvented the craft of reporting about his sport. In basketball, there hasn't been a big story that's gone on, a trade that's gone on, a coach that's been hired, a GM that's been fired in the last 15 or 20 years that Woj wasn't on top of, that he didn't imprint on that story. And to me, that set a new standard of what is expected from insiders covering the sport. He had an unbelievable amount of sources, and not just the obvious ones. And the thing that made him so remarkable and was the fruits of his being such a hard worker is it wasn't just the guys whose names that he had in his phone book. It was the secondary, tertiary, and beyond guys who worked for operations. So he, when he told you something, when he reported something, you knew it was dead on because he was so well sourced, and he had those sources for every team throughout the league.
So what do you think about this next chapter for him? And do you think that this is something that he's kind of been feeling for a while now?
Well, as somebody who's also a fan of St. Bonaventure basketball, I'm delighted that he's going to be overlooking. And it's a brave new world of college sports between NIL and collectives and the transfer portal. And you actually really do need a competent general manager to help a head coach operate the program. And look, Woj knows the ins and outs of the sport of basketball at every level because of his job. And so really he's the perfect person to take this over, especially in a place like, St. Bonaventure is never going to be confused with Kansas or Kentucky. It's never going to be confused with Villanova or St. John's. It's a mid-major, a very good, very successful mid-major that really needs to negotiate the woods of this new basketball system. And they've entrusted it in, I think, very competent hands. I can't wait to see what he's able to do with this. I really can't.
Yeah, he's inspired so many in the sports media world. Now he's got me ready to call UMass, my alma mater, and see if they need a GM. Mike, man, thanks for hopping on with us and telling us what type of person that Woj was.
Can't wait for that Bonnie's Minutemen game next year, Brendan.
I'll be there for it.